Hi, my name is Sherri Christensen. I teach at Pocatello High School. I'm in the science department. I teach physics, part of the physical science curriculum for the ninth graders. I I'm going to teach a unit on motion and forces, and besides the textbook, the physical science textbook by Glencoe, which has a Lexile score of 1100, I also chose a reading from an author by the name of Shauna Sastamoinen, Roller Coaster Physics, The Science Behind the Thrills. It just gives a history of roller coasters. I chose this to get the students excited about about physics, and so it has a, let's see, a Flesch Kincaid grade level of 10.1. You can see it there. The unit essential questions, I had so many, and these are just a few. Hang time can be experienced in a simple machine like an elevator, in a car going too fast over rolling hills, or riding the thrill rides in an amusement park. Explain the forces that are at work creating this hang time. It is evident that bricks are much heavier than feathers. Why is it easier to pick up feather than a brick? How are speed, velocity, and acceleration different? The body remains in motion until a force acts on it. Why do moving objects eventually stop? The close reading activity, this one really got to me. Obviously, with ninth graders, you'd have to model this for them because they don't want to do anything, rather just play on their phones. But it's a 5-step process with the roller coaster excerpt. First, they would number the paragraphs. The Common Core asks the students to be able to cite and refer to the text. So when the students refer to the text, they can state which paragraph they are referring to. The rest of the class will be able to quickly find the line being referred to. The second thing, they'd be able to chunk the text. I've been doing this for quite a while, but when they are faced with a full page of text, reading it can quickly become overwhelming. So breaking the text into smaller sections or chunks, hence chunking the text, makes the page much more manageable for the students. They can do this by drawing a horizontal line between the paragraphs to divide the page into smaller sections. Then underline and circle, but they need to do it with a purpose. Telling students to simply underline the important stuff is too vague. Stuff is not a concrete thing that students can identify, so instead direct students to underline and circle very specific things. Circling specific items is also an effective close reading strategy. I often have my students circle key terms. I define key terms as words that are defined or repeated throughout the text. If you only circle 5 key items in the entire text, you would have a pretty good idea about what the entire text is about. The fourth thing, the left margin, you would write what the author is saying. It isn't enough to ask students to write in the margins. We have to tell them what to write, give them a game plan. This is where chunking comes into play. So I asked them to summarize each chunk in 10 words or less. And then the other margin, they dig deeper into the text using a power verb to describe what the author is doing. They can't just write compare. They have to say what the author is comparing. They can represent the information with a picture. This is a good way for students to be creative, to visually represent the chunking with a drawing. And then if they don't want to use a power verb, then they can ask a question. So one or the other. And they can use, then we as teachers can use these questions as the conversation driver in class discussions. There are many other things that students can write in the margins. These are just a couple of things. Text-dependent questions. According to the roller coaster physics, what were the 4 major mishaps that were turning points in roller coaster history? In what year and in what country was the first roller coasters created? In what century did roller coasters reach great leaps in safety? When was the first steel roller coaster built and what was it called? These are just questions based on that text that I chose. Lots more to come.